Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Doctor. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. We're going to be talking about the calculator unit Irdura today. And I'm going to be straightforward with you. I'm not the most mathy type of guy out there in the world. So if I do mix up my words a little bit, I promise I will clarify, because some of her abilities can get very confusing for anybody out there who has never used a calculator unit. And so I'm going to try and explain as plainly as possible what her abilities do and what her different passives do. So Irdura is a water element, and we're going to call her a caster. So her primary job is arithmetician. She follows up with Spellblade and Black Mage as her alternative jobs. Primary weapon is going to be maces, and she is going to get a platinum mace event that comes out with her. So for those of you who are thinking right now, I don't have a mace at all, I'm not ready for her, don't stress, there will be an event that does come out with her. She's also going to have the opportunity to equip hat, cloth, and accessories. And if you had the opportunity to use and max out a sortilege in the last event, having a defense-related sortilege is probably going to be pretty good for her, because it's going to be one of the only ways for her to increase her physical defense. Her TMR, the Calculator Robe, is going to be a cloth-based armor TMR with HP 322, Spirit 10, and Critical Avoid 12. And the TMR skill with it is going to switch positions with a target, and it's going to have a 200% chance to quicken for 1 turn. So very powerful TMR ability here. I could see this being very fun, particularly in live PvP, especially if an opponent doesn't know that you have it equipped. Her mastery ability is going to give area resistance 10. That's going to be the same passive that Warmech has, and then increase spirit plus 5. Being a water element unit, she's going to have a 15% resistance to fire, and anything lightning is going to murder her. That's going to be Frederica, Sid, you name it, she's dead. All of her resistances. She's weak to everything except magic. She has 20% resistance to magic, 5% to slashing, and is weak 10% to everything else. Her limit burst is going to increase the CT of all the units around her. So it's going to be in a cross formation, and she is going to be able to pick where she targets. That's going to be very powerful. I think on the multiple websites that I've looked at, the 200x to 400x is actually 20x and 40x respective to CT. So that's probably going to mean that at maximum it's going to give plus 40 CT to the units around you. Her HP is going to be her weak spot. She's only going to have about 2100 HP, which is very low. So she is going to be vulnerable. Some other things to note here: her movement 3, jump 1, pretty standard. She's not going to be able to change that. She does get magic power plus 20% and additional spirit plus 6, which is really nice. She has an attack of 64, which, let's be honest, nobody was ever expecting her to attack anything. And her magic power is 237 plus 55, which, if you count that additional plus 20% that she also has, is actually pretty high and competes with a lot of the other UR mages. One of the more unique things about her, though, is she does have very high agility. So she actually has, once it's fully maxed out, 62 agility. That's crazy. Like, I love how much agility she has. Dexterity is going to be 194 plus 36, luck 129 plus 40, initial AP plus 4, so nothing too exciting in terms of other pieces of stats. Now, this is where things are going to get a little complicated. So first, I'm going to direct you to this image up at the top here, and I just want to be clear that this green number, this 0H that you're seeing right here, this is the enemy's height position, or the target's height position. So what this means, if we're looking at this picture with the bomb, is that the enemy has 0 height, right? They're on the ground level. Now, there are 3 different types of calculator attacks. The first type of calculator attack is going to be based on the opponent's level. And it's going to be dependent on if the opponent's level is divisible by a certain number. So, for example, we have the skill level 4 Waterga. That means that if an opponent is level 99, they're going to take less damage because 99 is not divisible by 4. But you have a passive that she can set here, level 4 to level 3, which is going to upgrade all of her skills to be level 3 Waterga, level 3 Watera. So what that means is she's going to get a damage modification because Waterga is now level 3 Waterga on any enemy she attacks that is divisible by 3 in their level. So a level 99 unit is divisible by 3, so she is going to get that enhanced damage on the opponent. Now, there's more to this. Let's talk about height. So there are 2 different types of height attacks. The first attack that she has is going to be Height Cure and Height Water. Now, these are her basic bread and butter healing and damage techniques. Height Water and Height Cure are all going to be modified by a certain percentage depending on how high your target is from you. So they also come, because of this, with a range height of 5, which is one of the highest range heights in the game and is very powerful for a number of maps and situations. So if you were on height 0 or on the base floor and an enemy was on height 4 above you, you are going to deal, by modification, +4 damage to that opponent. Now, in terms of height 2 Cura or height 3 Cura, height 3 Holy, those are different creatures entirely. So height Water and height Cure are only dependent based on how high your opponent is compared to you. Now, when you have other abilities like height 2 Curaga, height 2 Holy, height 2 Disable, these are abilities that do more damage to your opponent depending on the height level they're standing at and whether it's divisible by the height number attack. So let's say you're using height 2 Holy. If the opponent is on height 2, if the opponent is on height 4, it's gonna deal more damage because 4 and 2 are divisible by 2. If the opponent's on height 0, it will do the increased damage as well, so that is an important factor to know. Now, all of the height-based attacks or the height divisible attacks start out at height 3, and she has a passive which turns height 3 to height 2. So that's what you're seeing here in terms of her support abilities. I think for almost everything, you're going to want to set the height 3 to height 2 and the level 4 to level 3. That way you can hit level 99 enemies, and your opponents are going to be more likely to receive that bonus damage from the height 3 or height 2 attacks. Now, keep in mind, if you are casting a height 3 spell and the opponent is on height 2, it will still deal damage, it just won't receive the bonus modification damage from being on the appropriate height. Now, for counters, she has a chance, she has damage distribution, which is a chance to counter all damage done, or a chance to counter all damage, so that's going to be 20% to counter the damage. And then it's going to absorb 50% of the HP when it's fully leveled. She also has access to Magic Guard and Magic Counter, which you should be familiar with. Of course, I would not recommend Magic Guard or Magic Counter, particularly when we have damage distribution, which is going to have a 20% chance to proc and to steal the HP of the enemy. Woo! All right, I hope you guys are still with me. I know that this can be very wordy and very detailed. We're going to go ahead and talk about her primary kit here. Now, many of you guys know I like to rely on WoTV Calc a lot of the time for my information. However, the Japanese side of WoTV Calc does not have the full information on the Irdura calculator unit. Bismarck is aware of this and is going to be upgrading the information when the global release of Irdura comes out. If you want specifics on the calculator abilities, it's really important that you go to Ultima. So we do have Ultima's information here. And let's go ahead and just go over. These are the height cure and the height water attacks that we talked about. So it's going to be 120% magic cure and plus 4% for each height difference. And then, of course, height water. Power increases as target's height increases. So magic 121% at height 0, magic 126% at height 1, magic 137% at height 3. So it's going to be going up until that maximum of height 5. height 3 Holy, height 3 Curaga, and then level 4 Waterga are also some of her other abilities here. And this is going to make up her primary kit. One important note here about height 3 Holy as well. It's actually classified as a light element attack. So for those of you who are planning on going in and using Holy Element potentially in the future, or maybe you're setting Red Chocobo, you could actually lock her just to cast height 3 Holy, and she is going to receive that light modification damage attack from Red Chocobo. So she is an interesting unit in that she does have access to multi-element abilities as well. Now, one other thing about Holy is that it doesn't receive the plus 100% accuracy that we normally see on regular Holy. So this is not going to have the guaranteed hit that regular Holy has. It is going to be area of effect though. Another thing to notice here as well, look at the range on Curaga, you guys. It's actually a 2x2 square instead of a 1x1 square. It also has range height 1. It's going to be a very powerful AoE heal, assuming that you're on the right height. Otherwise, it is only going to heal 120%, as opposed to 180% is how I believe the percentages work out to be. And then level 4 Waterga is also the same. Notice how wide it is compared to normal Waterga. You hear a lot about how Irdura is a very good PvE farming unit. And this is part of the reason why. She has large AoE attacks. She has attacks like Height Water with range height 5, which make her very versatile and very powerful at hitting a whole bunch of different places on the spectrum. Now, let's talk about her subjobs real quick. Her subjobs are Spellblade, Arithmetic, and Black Mage. I don't have Black Mage on here because Black Mage isn't particularly relevant. You're probably going to see her sub Spellblade, and I would even say Arithmetic isn't too relevant either. Now, from sub Spellblade, you are going to be wanting to turn off Attract Spell or a Taunting Spell, just because you don't want her to tank. You would probably turn off Waterga Sword as well, Water Sword and Bio Sword. Honestly, you just want that magic resistance for 3 turns, that 38%, to help her regenerate her AP when she needs it, and to give her sort of that passive cast that she can do, and to benefit allies. Now, Arithmetician sub-job, the things that you can really get with Arithmetician sub-job, you're going to be probably pushing for CT average. And I don't think the large area of effect disable is going to be very powerful. It only has a 15% chance to inflict disable, which in the status ailment world is pretty low in comparison. If you're looking for status ailments that are going to land like pretty reliably, you're going to be looking for that 25% modification. Still, you can sub Arithmetician if you do want that area of effect disable. We have seen with the advent of Deep Dungeon that disable can be very powerful, and so can stop. So again, always an option. She does get the effect, the ability CT average, which is going to be an area of effect attack spell, which is not going to deal any damage, but it's going to average the CT of all targets within range. And then she also gets level 4 Watera, level 3 Watera. Now, this is one of the reasons I'm a little concerned about sub-arithmetic, and that's going to be that the damage modifiers on Watera look really low. Again, I know that Bismarck has said that he's going to update them for Global's release. However, even when I was looking at Ultima, the modifiers were so low that it really made me wonder why I would set Watera. I really think sub-arithmetic is going to be for that disable and for the CT average. Now, in terms of equipment, I did say that Platinum Mace is going to be the most likely best piece of equipment that we have access to in Global right now. It does have Magic and Vital builds. You're going to want to go for Magic. We are going to be getting the event, so when we get Coral Sword, we're also going to be getting the same event for Platinum Mace. So you are going to be farming this probably, whether you want Platinum Mace or whether you want Coral Sword, you're probably going to be farming the heck out of this event. It gives Magic 184, gives a Magic modification of 15, and this is actually one of the easier farms for a piece of equipment in the game that I've ever seen. right? So it's only 2,570 unidentified sap, 315 ogre bristles, 323 void Chris. A lot of these materials you can get elsewhere, and you're not going to be restrained by like waiting for the event if you miss out this time. So I'm actually really happy that this is the way that the farm is going for Platinum Rod. Sorry, Platinum Mace. I'm just going to missay that all day long. And it actually makes it really accessible for other players who are wanting to get in and use Irdura. Now, finally, we're going to talk about some of the different cards that we can use. This is going to be your chance to use Siren, you guys. And if you're like me, you've been waiting for this moment. Siren has been dreading your pulls the entire time that you pull for UR cards. This is it, baby. We're going to be putting her in. Miranda, Irdura. We'll put someone like Severo in there, too. Can't wait for it. We're also going to be getting the magic attack up and slash resistance horn card that's going to be coming out soon. We're also going to get red chocobo as a great option for the light attack up if you are going to be going the holy option. And we are going to be getting Mind Flayer, which should be coming out with the Ifrit raid. So if I believe I got it right, it should be Irdura this week and then Mind Flayer the following week. This is going to be magic damage cap increased, right? So this is going to be very similar to the other cards that increase damage cap. It's going to increase magic attack and it's going to increase the magic damage cap. So you're probably going to have very accessible means to get this. And it's just going to be another tool to help you out in PvE content like Raid. For espers, I'm going to recommend Shiva, Rama, Odin, Cactar, and Diablos. Diablos is probably your best bet, but if you're like a newer player and you don't have any of the UR espers, Cactar is going to be your best magic esper, and I would definitely recommend that. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I do appreciate all of the support, the fact that you made it to the end of this video. If you are new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, and of course, come join our Discord. Come check me out on stream. I do stream quite often from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time, and on reset nights I stream all the way until reset and more. And of course, if you guys are planning on buying Visior, one of the best ways to support me is to use my affiliate link. It's dig.gs/coins or dig.gs/offer. It saves you 20% on the cost of Visior, and it's one of the best ways to support me without actually giving me money. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.